Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Rundown, where we talk about 2A news and conservative views. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
That's right. My name is Mike Piwowarski, coming to you live from the East Coast. That's the coast with the most, from the co-host with the most here on the Rundown. 2A views, conservative news, and Craig, thank God it's Monday. Did we say that? Is that what
Thank
we're supposed
God
to
it's.
say? Thank God it's Monday.
Mike, I'll tell you, it's the funniest thing because we did the show Monday through Wednesday last week, and then this week,
Yeah.
like Thursday, Friday, it's just Friday. It was like it felt like it was like Sunday, and so Saturday and Sunday was just all discombobulated for me. Like thinking I'm supposed to be up, thinking I'm supposed to be doing stuff. It just completely threw me off in a very, very good way, though.
Yep. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, listen, I lost 2 days because one was a trip from Florida to New York driving, and the other one was a trip driving back from New York to Florida. So those 2 days are gone in a haze, and it's even now I'm trying to like, well, what did I do the other? Oh, that's right, I was driving for 22 hours. That's what I was doing. Sorry.
And as we talked about off air, probably 4 of those 22 hours was spent driving about 7 city blocks.
You got to time it right, and if you don't, man, you're gonna get to love the intersection of Greenwood and 51st and Brooklyn because that's where you're staying for about 3-4 hours. Yep. Ain't no getting around it, just like that, you know.
It just be like that sometimes. You got to do the timing exactly right to arrive there. It's the same thing in the San Francisco Bay Area, or even in LA. It is especially in LA. It's pretty much can be like that, like 24/7, 365. At least in San Francisco or the Bay Area, if you time it right, you can take you can reduce it significantly. It's still not like as if there were no traffic, but you can at least make it somewhat more reasonable, shall we say.
Gotcha.
Yeah. A place that's 90 miles away, I always figure on average, should be about 90 minutes. There you go.
You just sitting at the corner of Greenwood and 5th for about 4 hours. Yep. No, that was it. Yep.
But yeah, I figure if it's 90 miles away, it should take you about 90 minutes to get there. And when you're going to LA or you're going to San Francisco, or in this case, like you said, New York, depending on the time of day, it could be anywhere from an hour and a half to 4 hours.
You know, it was one of those. Okay, if we leave it this time, that's not going to work because that's going to put us there at noon. We need to be there 5 or 6 in the morning to get through it, because that's when the exodus or the everybody's coming in or we're going out of the city, right? And they're like, no, we're gonna have dinner with so and so in North Carolina. I'm like, that's gonna mess things up. You know, like you leave the next morning. It says you've got 400 miles to go and it'll take you 6 hours, and then it says you've got 200 miles to go and it'll take you 6 hours, and then it says you've got 100 miles to go and it's going to take you 6 hours, because you know that last 60 miles you're not going nowhere. You're not going anywhere. You're just going to stay there. You're going to sit at Greenwood and 5th for 4 hours at that point.
And it's funny because you think, okay, I'm making good time. You know, you're doing the math in your head. You're thinking I'm making good time. And you're not realizing that there's this, especially depending on the app you use, there's this big red long streak where you're basically going nowhere. And it's telling you you're going nowhere. It's just way further down on the app.
Yeah, the wall around Staten Island and Manhattan on my app said, try tomorrow.
And it was practically tomorrow when you got in.
Try tomorrow. It was. Try tomorrow. Come back tomorrow. See how it is then.
Oh, good stuff. But you made it there. You made it back. You had a good time. So all is well, correct?
Yep. Yes. All
Excellent.
Good. All good. And I got a truckload full of bagels outside, so it's all good.
Very nice. So let's go ahead and give a quick, before we get started, go ahead and give a quick shout out to our sponsors.
Yeah, let's say hi to our good friends at Hitman Industries. That's hitmanindustries.net. If you got yourself an AR in the past 5 years, odds are you got one of your barrels from them and you don't even know it. Well, now you can buy from them factory direct to rebarrel your current platform or get yourself a new barrel for your next AR build. That's hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. Make sure you check out the California 6th congressional race while you're out there. If you want the best in tactical concealed holsters on the market, get on over to hogholsters.com. That's HAWG holsters.com for the best tactical concealed holsters on the market. Use the discount code The Rundown. That's all one word, no spaces, all caps for a nice little discount. And if you want some field gear, some tactical gear, going outdoor gear, having some fun gear where you're fishing, hunting, no matter what it is, you can get everything but the gun at uscombatgear.com.
That's right, folks. These are our sponsors. They bring us to you so that we can bring you to them. Do us a favor, do them a favor, do yourself a favor. Visit their websites. You can find them by following the links in the description to this program. Just go there, check them out. If you like what you see, spend some money with them. Let them know that it was the guys over at the Rundown that sent you. It's generally it's either right down here somewhere, or it may be over there, I think, in the description. Somewhere over there. Over there? Okay, it's somewhere, but it's there.
It's over there. Right over there.
Check it out.
Over there.
Well, those right there are the names, but I don't know that the links are there on the video. We're not that sophisticated to add the link like right on where the graphic is. We'll get there one day. We're just not there right now.
Yeah.
In any case, check them out. Also, folks, remember, this is a live program, so I want to encourage you. If you are watching us live, that's 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, check us out. Conversate with us. If you're watching us on Facebook, if you're watching us on YouTube, if you're watching us on Rumble, you can commentary, and hey, let us know what you think. I'm sorry, Mike hates it when I say commentate. You can chime in, and if we like what you have to say, hey, we'll read it on the air. So go ahead and comment. Conversate. Oh, that's the one you hate. Conversate.
Not a word. Just making stuff up out there in California. Might as well.
Hey, look, we make a lot of stuff up out here in California, right? We're
going to take that time zone away from you. Yep. You'll all be on
Look
Eastern
at you now.
Time zone.
You're mixing like two of your things together. You don't like separate time zones, and you don't like the word conversate.
I don't like made up words, and the punishment for that is we're taking away your time zone. Yeah.
I like that. Kill two birds with one stone. Very impressive, sir. Very impressive.
That's it.
All right, let's go ahead and let's get into our first story over here. Now, you might recall back when Israel first started engaging Hamas in the Gaza Strip militarily through bombings. From the very beginning, it was interesting how quick Hamas was to start pointing out how many people had died. Now, mind you, it took like 3 to 4 weeks for Israel to count up the number of people who actually died, those who were actually Israelis who died, whether they were women, whether they were children, whether they were one of the terrorists. They really went through it painstakingly, and they originally came up with a number above 1,400, and then they readjusted it because once a lot of the autopsies and whatnot were done, they were able to readjust it to somewhere close to around 1,200. They took the time. Now, in that same vein, remember how quickly they came out when there was the attack, where the folks tried to shoot a rocket from the Gaza Strip into Israel, and it crash landed there at a hospital, or rather in a hospital parking lot there in the Gaza Strip. And they automatically came out. 5 minutes later, 500 people are dead. 500 women and children are dead. And then come to find out that, it didn't hit the hospital. It actually hit the parking lot, and the number wasn't 500. Well, now we're seeing numbers of up to 11,000. I've seen numbers as high as 14,000 coming from the health ministry there in Palestine, which is run by Hamas. Well, Joe Biden came out. When he was asked about those numbers, he originally noted that, you know what? You can't trust those numbers because, first of all, Hamas is on one side of this, and they have lied already in this conflict. They've lied in the past about other death tolls, about other bombings and all that. They've lied in the past, and they've lied during this conflict. So why would we believe that they're not lying now? which to me was shocking that Joe Biden would actually, number one, be conscious enough to know that and say that, but the fact that he would actually say the truth. Well, guess what? Not so much. Turns out that Joe Biden quietly apologized to Muslims for doubting Hamas's claim on Gaza. This is according to a report. It says here, amid issuing ringing public condemnations of Hamas, President Joe Biden privately apologized to Muslims for not allowing Gaza casualty figures for not swallowing Gaza casualty figures issued by a Hamas-run agency, according to a new report. As the Washington Post noted in its Sunday report in public on October 25, Biden addressed the ever-soaring casualty numbers from the Gaza Health Ministry by saying, "I have no notion that Palestinians are telling the truth about how many people are killed." Then came a private meeting with the Post, said where 5 prominent Muslim Americans, the newspaper, which said it gathered information from a variety of sources it did not name, said one person present at the meeting said he or she knew of cases such as a woman who lost 100 members of her family. This led to a transformation on the part of the president, according to the Post. Now, Mike, do you think this is him double dealing? Basically trying to say, he's trying to be on both sides of the issue. So he's trying to support the Palestinians, and he's trying to support the Palestinians as well as support the Israelites or Israelis. Do you think he just forgot? I mean, what do you think is going on here?
Give me back that title page there with the date and time stamp on it. Let's take a look at that here on the title page, right there where it says this is published on the 27th, right, which is today at 38 a.m.
9:35 a.m.
9:35. So, Craig, this is after a long weekend, right? He's still in bed at 9:37 in the morning. He's not even awake. If he is awake, his teeth aren't in. So he's not swallowing anything, let alone the Gaza casualty figures at that point of the day. Craig, I honestly believe he has no idea what's going on. He doesn't know who he's apologized to, who he's not apologized to. He doesn't know who the good guys and the bad guys are. Even if you told him and stood them in front and said, "Look, here's the Israeli, the good guy fighting for peace and freedom, and here's Hamas launching their own rockets into hospitals filled with babies," he wouldn't know the difference. And then add into this, he's still got former President Obama pulling the strings on this issue because we know this is Obama's fight over there that's continuing to push the policy when it comes to how to deal with Hamas in Israel.
I am beginning to believe more and more when I hear people talk about the fact that Barack Obama may still be running the White House, because the lack of coherence from the president himself and the surprising consistency of the policies coming out of the administration with what Barack Obama wanted. Now, it may be because he's hired so many former Obama folks in his administration, but I'm also wondering, why is it that Barack Obama, he literally has an office and lives now in Washington, D.C. He's almost never at where he calls home. He's almost always in Washington, D.C., right up the street from the White House.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't want to live in Kenya either, so I don't know where his home really is, but that's not going to work. We know it's not Hawaii, that's for sure. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So, it's this guy. It's everything else that Joe's done. Old Sleepy Joe's done. You could see misdirection and change, and he didn't know what he was talking about. This is really one of the few things we've ever seen him have like a consistent. Now, he's still screwing things up by the numbers, right? But he's still consistently anti-Israel and pro-Hamas.
Yes, most definitely. And once again, it's He said all the right things initially. And then to watch him backtrack step by step, point by point, like it still amazes me. I'm like, he does it. I've heard Anthony Blinken do it. I've heard what's it? The guy who's his Secretary of Defense do it. They've all said whenever they're talking about Israel, they've all talked about him like, well, and we've told them that they have to be careful and not violate the rules of war. As if America wasn't saying anything, they would be running through the Gaza Strip, beheading babies and raping women. Oh, I forgot. That's Hamas.
Exactly. And Craig, don't forget the Secretary of State. We refer to him by his first initial. That's the proper way to refer to him, which would make him
Abe Lincoln.
Abe Lincoln. There you go.
I don't want to desecrate the name of the first Republican president by even affiliating him with dude.
It's just so funny to hear people go, "Did you just say Abe Lincoln?"
Did I? Yes, I've used that joke so many times. It's hilarious, but it's hard to get away from. It is because it is in fact that funny.
Yep.
Abe Lincoln, Secretary of State.
That's right. Yep. What?
All right. All right, moving right along. A professor at USC was suspended for calling Hamas murderers. That's what they are, but I digress. There's a little bit more to the story, but I still think you're going to find it to be as outrageous as I do. Now, once again, this is a report coming to us from the Washington Free Beacon. It says here, USC professor suspended after telling anti-Israel protesters Hamas are murderers. Once again, a little bit more than that. It says the University of Southern California, which is a private institution, suspended a professor after he told anti-Israel students protesting on campus that Hamas are murderers who should be killed. You people are ignorant. Really ignorant. Hamas are murderers. That's all they are. Everyone should be killed, and I hope they all are killed. Economics professor John Strauss told told a group of anti-Israel protesters on November 9th, according to the Los Angeles Times. Strauss learned the next day that the university was placing him on paid administrative leave, barring him from campus and not allowing him to teach undergraduates for the rest of the semester, though he could teach graduate students via Zoom. Now, Mike, the thing that got me the most about this one is the Washington Free Beacon put his quote in total. When the students put it up, all they said was, everyone should be killed, right? They even grammatically put it right in here. So in here, he talked about Hamas. He mentioned that they are murderers and they are terrorists. And he didn't say everyone is in all y'all. He said everyone, referring to every Hamas terrorist, should be killed. And yet they're trying to portray it as he's saying every Palestinian should be killed. And so as a result of that, they've put him on paid administrative leave.
I didn't. You know what? I did not realize that USC was a private school. I thought that was part of your state school system there.
No, it's the weirdest thing. But yeah, it's the weirdest thing because everyone thinks that. But yeah, no, USC is actually a private school, which is, by the way, why they're actually good at football. Because none of the public schools in California are any Division I schools are any good at football.
No, you get what you pay for, right?
Pretty much.
Division I pays their players good. Listen, and also, could we stop with the you people thing? I mean, unless you're talking to a family of Chinese people with the surname Yu, it's probably not good to say you people anymore to anyone.
Well, no, I'm going to give, because in this particular case, he's talking to the protesters who are there in support of Hamas. And you people who are here for Hamas. Yeah, you people.
What do you mean, you people? What do you mean, you people?
I thought I'd just explain
Um,
what I mean, you people.
yeah, listen. He says that these murderers, should be punished via death. Okay, next topic. Where are we going? We give this guy a raise. Uh, I'm curious to see, especially since the DEI decision out there in California, if they're going to hold the private school accountable to the same standard they held the public schools when they tried to enforce the teacher to say the things that they wanted him to say. I would have to say it's a public education because it's open to the public. It is a private institution, right? But it's open to the public to attend as long as they pay the fees, much like a regular college. It's not a members only kind of college. So I'm curious. So let's see if this goes through the courts out there, because I don't see where this guy has said anything wrong. Even if he has said, something crazy like let's kill all the Palestinians, I don't see where, you could tell him what to say when they ask for his political opinion.
Well, and the other thing is that he doesn't. You're right. Number one, he does not lose his right to freedom of speech.
Right.
And he in particular does not, especially when he's espousing a particular political viewpoint. One, when fully understood and you understand the context and exactly what he said, is not just protected but wholly understandable. I mean, he was very clear. Every single terrorist who was engaged in the beheading of children, burning them alive, the raping of women, and then the killing of them and having their bodies dragged through the streets. Everyone who was involved in parachuting in to shoot up young people as they attended a peace concert. Yeah, they kind of deserve to be put out of existence.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Okay with that. You've committed murders against. Listen, these were not military people. These were not combatants. This wasn't acts of war. This was terrorist murders. You terrorist murderers. So,
and on top of it, let us not forget. On top of it, they celebrated it. They filmed it.
Oh yes.
They posted it online, and they celebrated it. Yeah.
It's what they do. Nah. Terrorist murderers. It's what they do.
Yeah, that there be the way that it be. Anyway, moving right along. Maryland cops to enforce unconstitutional law. We talked about it here on the show, where recently Maryland's new what's the word I'm looking for? Their new gun register or permit law, the law that would require you to get a permit in order to be able to purchase a firearm. It's been ruled unconstitutional, not just by a judge, but by an appeals panel, right? And so now you've got the law enforcement or Maryland State Police are saying that, they're still going to enforce this until it is actually ruled unconstitutional by the Supreme Court. They're going to enforce this. Let me read just a little bit of this. It says, Maryland State Police will continue enforcing the state's handgun law for now, despite a federal appeals court ruling that the licensing requirement is unconstitutional. At this time, the HQL law remains in effect, and there are no immediate changes in the process to purchase a firearm in Maryland, the department wrote in an agency-wide advisory after last week's ruling. Maryland's Handgun Qualification License, or HLQ, requires applicants to submit fingerprints for a background check, take a 4-hour firearm safety course with a live fire component, and wait up to 30 days for approval before purchasing a handgun, which then requires another application and a 7-day waiting period. But last Tuesday, a 3-judge panel of the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled 2-1 that the law is overly burdensome and cannot stand under the 2022 landmark Supreme Court decision that a firearm regulation is unconstitutional unless the government can prove it is consistent with the nation's historical tradition. Now, what I don't understand about this, Mike, is now normally the way these things work is that there's a stay to their decision, right? So normally you put a stay in place, And then that means that, and that'll oftentimes happen because they know that one party is going to wind up appealing it to the next, either to the next level, whether it's to go en banc, which is a bigger panel, more people from the Fourth Circuit, or to go to the Supreme Court. But I've never heard an agency say, yeah, we're just going to keep doing it this way until, because as far as I know, unless there is a stay,
sure.
unless there's a stay on the decision,
Sure you have.
They're violating the Constitution.
Sure you have. Your attorney general in California does it all the time. He's going to continue to do what he wants, even when the judge says he's going to do it. Even when the judge issues an injunction, he says, I'm immediately filing for a counter injunction, so I don't have to pay attention to that injunction. We see this all the time in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Maryland. These states all do this. I bet you this panel, this three-judge panel, even the one that was the dissent here, probably said, there's no reason to put a stay in place here or an injunction. Who's going to be idiot enough to cross this ruling? This is pretty cut and dry. And lo and behold, when they look for stupid and foolish, Maryland law enforcement stood up and said, "We'll take that bet. We'll enforce this law that you just declared unconstitutional." I guarantee you, Craig, by tomorrow at lunchtime, those judges come down and go, "Listen, just for the people that wear a helmet and can't find their baseball, here's an injunction telling you not to enforce this unconstitutional law."
Mike, what gets me is, and this is some of the challenges that we often fought and sometimes still fight through the Firearms Policy Coalition, is that you have some law enforcement, and some of them are on our side for the most part, but they think that because they are tasked with enforcing the law, that they are the law, and they're not. They're not the ones who get to determine what's constitutional and what's not constitutional. Their job is to enforce the law. And if a court ruling, in particular, if a court ruling has said that it is unconstitutional, unless there is a stay to that decision, you don't get to go and violate the law. Although, who's going to arrest them?
Remember, Maryland's one of those states where the state police colonel is appointed by the governor. You've got the city, the police chiefs are appointed, in city of Baltimore. They're appointed by the mayor. They don't have a strong constitutional law enforcement system there. They don't have sheriffs. The sheriffs there, deliver writs and eviction notices. They're not about being the chief law enforcement officer of their county. So these law enforcement officials are law enforcement executives. They're not cops. They're not beat patrol. Those are the ones you should go to and ask, are you going to do this? They're going to be like, yeah, in between which holding calls, you want me to go and enforce this unconstitutional crap? This is the law enforcement administrators there that said this stupid garbage. And again, I don't, 24 hours tops, somebody will have an injunction to get in place against these idiots.
Sounds good, sir. Sounds good. Got an interesting comment here, and I'm going to go ahead and read this one because I'm trying to figure out exactly what dude is talking about. The guy's name is Joe. Let's put him up here. Joe Tercy. And he says, listen here, boy. Let me do it. Listen here, boy. Okay. Israel did not initiate any of this. If you bug me in an alley with a knife and I pull a gun, go F yourself. He's trying to say that this is not Israel's fault. Gaza came in and pulled some nonsense on them, and this is how Israel fights back. It's everybody's trying to blame Hamas for something, or Israel for something that Hamas did. This is clearly Hamas initiated this activity. They came into their house, Craig, and raped their dog and killed their wife. All right, and now Israel's going, I got something for you. All right. You brought a knife to a gunfight. So guess what? You brought rockets and handguns to a tank fight. Let's go outside and have ourselves a little conversation. Oh, no. I completely agree with that. Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out who he's referring to as boy.
See, I think, Craig, that's the African American you that can't get over. You have to know who got called boy in this conversation. You need to know that.
Yes.
That's like the whole you people thing.
Yes.
You people. Who you calling you people? Who you calling
you
people?
Yeah.
Right now you're pulling a who'd you calling boy?
Who you calling boy? I'm like, really? Really?
Forget that he's spot on about his politics. You just want to make sure he didn't call you boy.
There you go. See, isn't that hard? Isn't that
Yeah.
You spent time with the brothers. See,
This is something you people should really figure out.
really, Mike, really.
Well, you just said I could say you people. You said there was no problem with that.
Yeah, no, you can't say you people when you're talking to black people. Then you can't. Then you are not allowed to say you people. I can say you people. You can't say you people.
You could say you people. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
See,
gotcha.
That's how it works. See, it's one of if you have to look, it's one of the qualifiers on your white privilege card. Cannot say you people. Cannot use the N word.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm going to let you read what mine says. Oh wait, I can't.
You can't.
I can't.
Funny stuff. All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, you guys know that there was a shooting that took place. It was 3 students, all of them Arab, 2 of them, I believe, Palestinian. And trying to find here, where did I put that story? Oh, here we go. And what they've tried to do is they've tried to make this all about, once again, well, first of all, before we knew anything at all, they made this, they wanted to say that this was a hate crime. This was all because they were Palestinian, all because they were Arab. And I'm like, look, I'm not saying it's not. I'm saying let's find out what we actually know. Well, turns out now we know a few things. What we know is dude had mental health issues. He was a 48-year-old man who was arrested on suspicion of shooting 3 college students of Palestinian descent in Burlington, Vermont on Saturday night. 2 of the 3 were wearing, how do you pronounce that, Mike? The scarves that they wear?
The keffiyehs.
Keffiyehs, there you go. The black and white scarves that have been ubiquitous with pro-Palestine protesters and were speaking a mixture of Arabic and English. In a press conference, Burlington Police Chief John Murad alleged that around 6:30 p.m. Saturday, Jason J. Eaton, described as a white man, stepped off his porch, pulled out a gun, and began firing at the 3 young men. 2 of the victims were shot in the torso, the 3rd in the lower extremities. The suspect then fled on foot. Burlington Mayor Miro Weinberg characterized the shooting as a horrific, unprovoked attack and one of the most shocking and disturbing events in the city's history. The victims have been identified as Hisham Awatani, a student from Brown University, Kenan Abdal Hamid of Harford College student, and I'm not even going to pronounce that last one, Ahmed Tassin Hamed, a Trinity College student. All 3 20-year-old men had spent Thanksgiving with Atwani's uncle in Burlington. Eaton lives in an apartment building across from where the shooting took place. So, in essence, all we know is, and there's also some reports from his family that dude had just suffered from depression and had some mental health issues, but seemed to be doing all right. And all of a sudden just lost it. I don't know that we have enough to know that this is a hate crime yet. Well, first of all, let's just be real. There is no such thing as a hate crime because it is an attempted murder. And an attempted murder, dude needs to go to jail, needs to be thrown under the jail. Well, anyway. Unless we find out something different than what we know now, like it was self-defense or something along those lines. But I don't know. I haven't heard anything that would lead me to believe anything other than the fact dude needs to just go to jail for a long time or be locked up in a mental health institution for a very, very long time. But I don't know that we know that this actually should qualify as a hate crime.
Craig, here's what I'm trying to figure out. How did this possibly happen if, we have a state here where we have our background checks in place? I mean, the background checks were going to solve all crimes, right? You're going to be able to do a background check and it was going to be able to predict the future and you would know if somebody could commit a gun crime or not. You'd be able to immediately determine if they had a mental health illness based on whether or not they checked a yes or no block for do you have mental health illness. Folks, these are the laws that they put in place that say are going to stop gun crimes. Lies, more steps in place just for them to say, oh, look, we can't do this. We need to seize all guns. Craig, this guy obviously sounds like a crackpot, like a wackadoo. Hopefully they put him under the jail. Hopefully they let these people's families have a go at him first before they put him under the jail. On the second side of that, the back side of that, I would say, folks, learn to read the room, right? You don't get on the subway with your wallet hanging halfway out of your pocket and a big gold necklace hanging around your neck. Okay, you don't do it. You don't wear a BLM shirt to a NASCAR race, right? You don't put your white hood on and go watch Run DMC. You just read the room. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. Protect yourself. Don't put yourself at any further risk and look like a potential victim.
Here's what I'll say on that, and I'm a big believer in the First Amendment: wear what you want, when you want, or how. But like you said, understand that be careful about putting yourself in danger. Like, it's kind of like wearing a San Diego Chargers jersey to a Raider game.
There you go. That's a perfect choice. Yeah, a Giants jersey to a Phillies game,
right?
Or Eagles game, right?
I'm not saying that any harm that might come to you, I'm not saying that it is justified and people need to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
Yeah, absolutely.
All I'm saying is don't be surprised when it happens. Yeah. It should never happen. But don't be surprised if it does. Just saying.
You're correct.
But to the idea that this guy is a wackadoo, and I don't know how valid this thing is, because this is a guy. So this is what they found. They found this social media account. And this is, if you look at his banner, libertarians want trans furries to be able to protect their cannabis farms with unregistered machine guns. It sounds to me like he is all over the place on all sorts of types of issues. Or maybe he's just trying to be funny.
That's a funny one. Yeah, that one that's made the rounds before. And that says, what are you going to do now? It's basically, what are you going to do to me now?
Well, but they literally are trying to make it out like that's his personal ideology. And I'm like, no, dude was just trying to be funny.
Yeah.
Clearly, this guy has issues. All right. Let's try and find out what those issues are.
Yeah.
I don't know that it was racism. It very well could have been racism. I don't know that it's sparked by what's going on in Israel, but it could be. Let's find out.
Right. At this point, I'm concerned about this much with his issues, finding them out, and let's start with the disciplinary process here at this point.
Oh yeah. There you go. Yeah, no doubt. Dude needs to be dealt with. No doubt. No doubt. Don't just.
He can write a book from under the jail. He can let us know what he was. He can write a book from under the jail. Let us know what he was feeling at the time.
Exactly. All right. Next on the list is our parting shots, brought to you by Hog Holsters. Just go to hogholsters.com, use the discount code The Rundown, all caps, no spaces. Get your Hog Holster today. All right, our first parting shot here, and I think I loaded up one of them twice, so I'll do this. Okay, this first one here, since it was just recently Thanksgiving, I figured this one would be appropriate since we didn't do a show, the day after Thanksgiving. I think we could still do this one. It has to do with, it comes to our friends from the Babylon Bee and talking about the price of, the cost of Thanksgiving. And here it says, the Biden administration says the cost of Thanksgiving dinner is down as long as you don't buy anything.
Yeah, that's probably something I could see KJP saying there. It's true.
And that's the worst part of it, is I could totally see KJP saying some stupid stuff like this because Bidenomics is working.
It is, yeah. Unless you have to buy something, then it's not.
Unless you have to buy something, then Bidenomics is not working. All right, then our next one here, this next one here is also from the Babylon Bee. In fact, all of them today are from the Babylon Bee. Hamas awarded Nobel Prize for releasing a few of the children they kidnapped.
Oh, well, isn't that nice? There we go.
And that's
Get a
kind
couple
of
of
how
them.
it works, isn't it? That's kind of how the Peace Prize works. You know,
That's how they're doing it. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
they're just as
more. I
worthy, I
look
guess,
at
as anybody else. And then
just
the
like you
last
said
one,
earlier today.
also
I'm
from
seeing
the Babylon Bee.
more of that Obama footprint on this. You know.
Yeah, more of the Obama footprint.
Yep, yep.
Musk to put Cybertruck's bulletproof armor to the ultimate test with trip through downtown Chicago.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, you might wind up losing your truck,
Don't do
brah.
it.
Can you see him
Yeah,
getting carjacked? Because
yeah,
I
yeah.
could totally
I don't
see him
think
getting carjacked.
brand new free truck or not. I don't think anybody wants to drive that ugly thing.
Yeah, that thing looks like it reminds me of that the old, remember the original like hand vac that you did, rechargeable hand vacuum? No, portable vacuum. All right, I'll find it for you. Anyway, before we go, let's do a parting. Let's give a shout out to our sponsors via our parting shot. Mike, go ahead and give them a holler.
Hitman Industries. Let's say hi to our friends at Hitman Industries now. If you want yourself a pistol or rifle barrel for your AR, you can get one from them. Any rifle caliber, any pistol caliber, any length you need for your next AR rifle or pistol builds. Check them out at hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly fighting the good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. Make sure you check out the California 6th congressional race while you're there. And if you want to get some tactical gear, whether you're hanging out at the house, whether you're going out camping, hunting, or maybe spending a week or two in Israel, check everything out you can get, except the gun, at uscombatgear.com.
Where I saw it, not that
It
one.
just does not look like a truck to me, so I'm like, okay.
Well, it ain't a
whatever.
truck, but it
It looks like something that the Jetsons would drive or something, you know. Meet George Jetson. Bam, 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 bam.
old school. Let's try it. Old school hand vacuum.
Is my
That one. Well, kind of like
Yeah.
that one. Kind of like that one, but
we
not
spent
really.
way-
Like the old dust. Oh, there you go. Let me put in Dustbuster. Old school
we
Dustbuster.
spend way too much time on this now.
Yes, I'm
We could be
spending
talking
entirely
about
too
you
much.
people
Oh yeah,
instead.
forget it. Forget it. All right, I've blown it. I blew the joke.
Yeah.
Anyway, folks, thank you
There you
so
go.
much for tuning in. Let's head back over. Wait, let's go back over to Obsolens real quick and see if we got any comment from our good friend Joe. Yes, I'm stuck on that. I'm like, dude, who you call him? To whom are you referring to as boy? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess he's not there.
You.
Anyway, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you liking and sharing the program and encouraging your friends to do the same. We will be back tomorrow on Taco Tuesday. I'll let you in.